All right, it's a beautiful time to be here once again. And basically, my name is Destiny Agbanimu, and I do this for fun. I enjoy teaching people, I enjoy passing knowledge to people who are willing to accept and use it for their business growth, their personal growth, or their community development program. So today I'll basically be talking more about donor engagement for fundraising. So a donor is a person you collect money from. So somebody who is donating is called a donor. So mostly it's no blood donor. It's money donor, right? People who are supporting your program, your business, or anything that you do at all with funding, right? So today I'm going to be talking about how you engage those people and how you are practically making them give you money, right? So the first slide I'm going to talk on is, just sort of an overview about donor engagement processes. The first thing is you need to get your funding strategy in place. A lot of people and a lot of businesses are positioned to not have fundraising strategy. You must have a fundraising strategy as a business owner. Looking at the things that you do in your organization, the impact that you're trying to make, or the ecosystem you're trying to influence with your business, you must have a plan at which you need to put in place for you to have money, right? For you to fundraise, you need to have a strategy. Talk about the amount, the objective of fundraising, the people in the pipeline you need to engage, your prospective donors, contact with your prospective donors, handle the fundraising strategy that explains end to end what you set to achieve. And the second thing is you need to keep abreast of the country partnership strategy. So every country, or let's say an international donor, would have a country partnership strategy for every country, right? Of every potential donors that you have today, talk about the public and the private sector, they always have a country partnership strategy. They have a goal in mind and they want to achieve that goal through partnership. Most of the big organizations today do not go around looking for people, but they have a strategy whereby if your own strategy for their partnership is aligned with what you have, you are good to go. So you need to keep abreast, you need to keep yourself updated with every country's partnership strategy from prospective donors, right? So moving on, you need to be able to map the donor landscape with respect to your organization area of focus. So donor landscape is that what area do you think your donor has interest in? For example, you have the Bill Gates Foundation, who are always interested around things in the healthcare sector, disease, research and development, and stuffs like that. Mostly the health, right? You have organization like Tolumelu, who is very broad in supporting entrepreneurship development, and a lot like that. So you need to understand their landscape. Where do they play? Which area do they find interesting? And then get your organization aligned with what they are focusing on. And another thing again is you need to cultivate potential donors. Know how to reach out to these guys. They are everywhere. So, but if you understand where to go, how to knock on this door, letter to write, who to address it to, you understand how to cultivate those those donor relationship, which is very, very key to the success of your business. And also explore opportunities for solicited funding, opportunities with cultivated donor. So it says explore opportunities for solicited funding opportunities with cultivated donor. So if you've cultivated your donor, right, your potential donor, the next you need to do, you need to explore solicited funding opportunities. Solicited funding opportunities are opportunities that they are requesting you to apply for. For example, you would have the call for application, you had a request for proposal, you have the expression of interest, right? So those are solicited. So they are asking you to come and take money, right? They're asking you to come and take money. And that's why they put those terms of reference out there for request for proposal so that you can understand what they want and how you need to come in. And the last one for the overview of donor engagement process is to explore opportunities also for the unsolicited funding. So the unsolicited funding is when a donor organization do not necessarily request for proposal, or they are not putting out the terms of reference. This means that they have the money, but they are not looking at giving it to anybody. So you need to now write an expression of interest or a letter of intent, or let's say a letter of inquiry, asking the organization like, oh, do you have so amount of budget to support this project? We are currently doing this project in this community, and we look and we see that you have an interest in this area. Okay, let me give you an example now. Let me just give you an example. For instance, you have a company in one of the industries in, let's say, in Kogi, like Dangote cement in Kogi or Bajana, I think so. Um, Dangote would necessarily want to fund initiative that is around capacity building for the youths in that area. We would also want to do some security or peace initiative or some conflict resolution management. We would also want to do some environmental protection programs, right? So if you have businesses or projects that are aligned with whatever thing Dangote is doing, because Dangote now in Obajana would want to, look out for people who are interested in doing training so that he can employ them, or he wants to protect the environment for the hazardous, the industrial hazards that are in the environment in Kogi State. So that's just an example. There are a lot of examples you can explore. Dangote will not say, "Oh, we are looking for a proposal. We're looking for somebody to come and take our money to do a project." You can write a letter to them and say, "See, there's a unit called the CSR unit, the Corporate Social Responsibility Unit." You need to write to them and say you are interested in doing this project and you want them to partner with you to do X, Y, Z. And moving on to slide 2. So, what are the requirements for sourcing for funding opportunities? Interesting. What are the requirements? So I get a lot of people come to me sometimes with very vague ideas, something that is not realistic, and it's always difficult for us to align, right? So now, the basic requirements. Number one is your purpose. What is your why and your what? Very, very important. And how do you craft your purpose? How do you craft your why and your what? I usually give people the advice to look at the SDG goals. So if you come across the Sustainable Development Goal, it's one very quick way to understand your purpose. Answering the question about why and what. What are you doing exactly? And if you look at the SDG goals, for instance, you need to talk about number one goal, which is no poverty. Number two could be access to quality healthcare. Number three could be access to quality education. Number four could be, you need to look at the 17 goals and say, which area does my project, or what area do I think I'm more interested in? Is it gender equality? Just look at it and you're able to tell yourself basically how you are. So understanding your why and your what is very, very important. So you pick out from the sustainable development goal and find your area of interest there. And the next thing is you need to be persistent. Persistency is very good. Stay, be resilient, keep at it, keep doing it until you are able to achieve your goal. Very, very important that you stay consistent in chasing the grant funding, right? And also making some very positive relationship with your donors. And the third one here is patience. Patience is very important. Do not quit. Keep doing it. I've seen organizations, I've seen people come to me with the idea of they want to. So you do not have to quit. You need to be very patient in chasing that thing that matters to you, right? And next is be proactive, build sustained relationship. If you are looking out for funding opportunity, build a relationship. Go out to events, network with people. Don't just go to events and isolate yourself. Go out to events, network with people, speak with. So you don't need to take relationship building for granted. You need to actually focus on building solid relationship that can make you win grant funding. People sometimes fund the people because they trust them and they believe they can do excellently well. So be proactive, build and sustain positive relationships. Slide 3, sourcing for funding opportunities. Sourcing for funding opportunities. So first thing, you need to put your house together. Put your house together, put your house in order, do your policy formulation documents, do your proper registration, have your dues number, have so many things. Again, you need to look out for the requirements that are needed for you to apply to any organization funding opportunity, for you to apply to any donor funding opportunities, you need to look at what do they want, what exactly like this guy is looking for, as per the eligibility criteria for the necessary documents you must have. If you do not have those documents, it could be a blocker to you. And secondly, you need to narrow your focus of your search for funding opportunity. If you're searching for funding, most of these opportunities are online. Don't be distracted. Sometimes you want to see an opportunity you want to share with your friend. Just focus. If it's an energy opportunity you're looking for, or you're looking for an energy grant, you're looking for environmental grants, climate change, all of those things, focus on it, right? And next, you need to do your donor mapping. So donor mapping is, for example, is like an Excel sheet you must have that says this is the name of the donor you want to chase. This is the key person you need to speak with. This is the link to the organization website. These are the required documents. This is the deadline. These are the area of interest. These are the key expertise that are needed. Have that map that helps you to, guide all of what you are looking for. So it's a map. It has a start and it has a destination. The starting point is understanding what this donor wants and the process of walking through to the end of getting the grant funding. Another one is constantly research the procurement pipeline and forecast of potential donors. Solicited funding opportunities. So for solicited funding opportunities, always check the website. For me now, sometimes I like to chase United Nations opportunities, right? But although they don't give grants, right? But they give procurement opportunities. So I go to their website, UNGM. I go to their website almost every day to check if there are any opportunities that I'm missing on. And the next is explore unsolicited funding opportunities. Exploring unsolicited is, for example, you have relationship with some strategic people. So for unsolicited funding opportunities, you need to look out for people you can write to. um, Maybe they are not looking out to give funding, no request for proposal, no request for quotation, sorry, no request for proposal, no terms of reference. Exploring them is that you are speaking with somebody in-house, understanding their goal for the next 5 years, and then helping them to do something interesting. And moving on, register on information platforms. You need to register on platforms like DevX, Development Aid, Grant.gov, Bond.org. There are just a lot of websites. I have over 200. Okay, what accumulated to those 200? Because for TY Danjuma Foundation, I get the link and I put it there on my page. For Tolumelu, I get the link. And Tolumelu, you understand that it's once in a year and it's always around, I think, March, April, May or something. And then you put the dates, the link. Then every year you are checking to apply, right? So you have that registration database for all the grant donor organization funding opportunity websites that you have, so that you can go straight to the link, because there are just a lot of aggregators out there. They want to take your money. Well, it is good because you are registering for an alert system. There's one platform that aggregates all the opportunities that you can go to and pick up these grant opportunities, and which is very good. But then, if you don't have money to pay for this platform, you can, source out for these links and have them saved on an Excel sheet. And again, seek formal meeting with potential donors. Once a month, take your time to visit people who give grant donors. Once a month, as a business owner, go to them, write a letter to them, and say, I just want to give you a courtesy visit so that you can understand the project that I'm doing in Castina, in Kano, in whatever part. Just sort of create that awareness. Just let them understand what you're doing. It's not necessarily you're selling, but just like, this is what we are doing, this is what we are working on. These are impact reports for last year. We're also working on this for this year, and we look forward to partner with you to expand the scope of our project. As simple as that. And the next is informal engagements to gather intel or on funding organization. So informal engagement. I'm not putting on my glasses. Give me a minute. All right, guys. So I'm back. I had to put on my glasses because I'm having difficulties reading my slides. So yeah, so you need to engage in informal gathering to gather information about funding opportunities. And this informal gathering is because, sometimes in a birthday settings, in a not even too formal, just in a birthday setting, in a club gathering, at the golf golf course, at the stadium, anything at all can just pass out. You can just be with somebody who works with a grant donor organization, and then you're just speaking or watching football, and they just put it out there and say, "Oh, and an organization is releasing some cash. They have a budget for this." It just happens. So, take your time. Don't be an introvert on that aspect. You need to go out and look out for um, information about donor opportunities and funding opportunities. And then moving to the next slide. So potential touch points to identify funding opportunities. So where are the places you need to go to? Like I said earlier, during the course of my presentation, so USAID is one good place for grants.gov, DevEx, FCDO, which was formerly DFID, that's the UK government. And every country has a portal where they are giving grant funding to African countries. You need to just do a very deep research. And you can also come to me if you need the links that I spoke about, and I'll be willing to share them. Next is potential donors. These are potential donors. We have them in public and private sectors. Public sector give grants, and these are the information. We have the Malala Fund, we have the FDB, the Health Give Grants Fund. There. And for the private sector, we have these interesting guys. Yeah, all of them give grant funding. So the next hard part, this part is very, very difficult. This is where you need interesting folks who are very smart, right, to put things together and to make magic happen. The first thing you need to do is a project design. And I said that sometimes people are having blockers, they don't know what to do, right? If you're trying to get inspiration for an idea, go to the SDG goals, the Sustainable Development Goals. Look at that 17 SDG goals and say to yourself, which do I flow with? For me, really, so this next art part, sorry, I got distracted. My kids sometimes come around my office space to, they want to play with daddy. So the next art part here is your project design. Guys, please listen to this. If you are losing the inspiration on what to do, focus on the SDG goals. I normally say this. I say this to my friends a lot and my associate that pick one of those 17 goals. There's just a lot of things you need to do. Boil down and focus on the SDG for now, right? And that is how you see opportunities that are grantable. It's not all businesses that are grantable. It's not all. Trust me, it's not all. So people have a lot of ideas. I'm looking for grants. Okay, just the other day, somebody came to me and said he sells fairly used clothes and he needs a grant. Hmm, I was confused for a while and I was like, what sector can I place this? Can we say, okay, it's trying to reduce poverty rates by creating an agentic model where people can sell their fairly used items and they make money? So you are just a central base. So there are a lot of things coming into my head because, again, I'm an innovation expert and this is what I do. So for project design, you need to be able to come up with something people can look to and say, oh, okay, I think I have some money to give you. And if the people around you cannot give you 2,000, 3,000 naira to support your project, then there's a problem somewhere, right? And your design must be excellent. And the second thing is information gathering for proposal development. Proposal development, trust me, is difficult, it's time consuming, right? Sometimes people just hire people to write for them, right? So you need to get your proposal development in a very good structure. So review proposal eligibility and evaluation criteria for solicited funding opportunities. And there was a time when I had invested about 3 days of my time writing a proposal for a particular client. At that time, it's been a long, long time ago, and only for us to realize that the guy wasn't eligible. Like, he must have been in business for 10 years. The guy only got into business for 3 years. I was like, well, so yeah, so you need to check for the eligibility and evaluation criteria so you don't fall out from the evaluation process. And the fourth thing is draft the proposal, right? Draft the proposal. And going back to number two, information gathering. Information gathering is your experts that you need, the resources that you need to put together for that proposal. You must begin to gather them and draft the proposal, review the draft proposal, and obtain necessary sign off. The sign offs you are obtaining are from your experts. So, people we have put together as your team members to deliver this project, and ensure that they read the work plan to understand their responsibilities, and puts together additional documents requested. Maybe your CSC documents, evidence of previous jobs you've done, or evidence of previous contracts you've done, your previous year impact report, your previous year um, evaluation report, and all of those things. And then finally, you submit the proposal, and hopefully, you get to be awarded. You get to award and contractual fees. So this phase is always very interesting when you get a notification in your email that congratulations, you've gotten to the next stage, and you are sitting with the board to do an interesting sign off. So for donor engagement, it's not a difficult job. It's just you just have to be strategic. Like I said again, you need to be patient. You need to be persistent in doing this. And lastly, thank you for listening to this video. And I try to keep it under 20 minutes, very solid and quality. And if you have questions, if you have any concerns, please just send me a DM wherever you are watching from. It could be on my YouTube page. Click the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I see you on the next side. Cheers and have a wonderful day. Bye.